Hi, welcome to Virtualized Geek Tech Talk. I believe this is episode 32, recorded on January 2nd, 2014. So happy new year. This Tech Talk, exciting topic. We're talking about whether or not Cisco's software-defined networking solution, ACI, is vaporware or not. So when you call a product vaporware, you're going to get some attention. I called NXX a few months ago vaporware, and Martin Casito of VMware sent me a not so nice response in the comment section of the blog post. So, I obviously, NXX is deployed. I obviously owe Martin an apology. So this is Martin. This is my official apology. Sorry for calling NXX vaporware. Great job in getting NXX out the door. I know it was not a small feat. Great job to the VMware team. So I didn't directly call ACI vaporware. Whenever I on Twitter, whenever I compare NSX to ACI, a lot of the response I get back, oh, you're comparing NSX to vaporware. So you know what? After a few times of getting that response, I figured, hey, why not write a blog post and take a look at the traits of vaporware and whether or not ACI fit those definitions of vaporware. So, if you think about vaporware, loosely defined deployment date, usually announced because of some reaction to their competition. So was the announcement of ACI and the availability of ACI based on the announcement of VMware announcing the availability of NSX, or was it something that Cisco already had in the works? And then the biggest thing, which I think is kind of my biggest beef with ACI in general, is indication of a real product. ACI has a few different components. It's the physical connectivity. So the Nexus 9000 series switch is a requirement for ACI. That's available today, shipping today. Then there's kind of this loosely defined software system that I wasn't able to do a lot of research on what that software is. But more importantly, there's the controller, the APIC, I believe, called controller. And that's pretty much the brains of Cisco's software-defined network solution. The ability this is kind of the interface. When you're writing code that takes advantage of a programmable network, you're writing it to communicate with the controller. So if that controller isn't available, you kind of have this 9000 series switch that supports, OpenFlow. It supports all the technologies that kind of, with the exception of NSX, it supports all of these open standard technologies that Cisco really doesn't care about. Cisco doesn't believe in abstracting the network from the physical hardware. So when you think about VMware's NXX, which you can literally virtualize the entire network, both the control plane and the data plane for obviously switches, or virtual switches. You can obviously virtualize the network for a virtual switch with NXX. You can virtualize the control plane with a combination of NXX and OpenFlow. You can create virtual routers through partner plugins. NXX is a complete abstraction of the network. OpenFlow is a complete abstraction of the control plane. So those approaches kind of don't jive with Cisco's vision of software-defined networking or the future network. I'm not sure if they really like the term software-defined networking, or because I think it's unfair to call their solutions a software-defined network. True that you can control it from you can control it from the network, but it is a hardware first solution. It's silicon, it's ASICs, it's all the things that Cisco does really well. The question is whether or not it's vaporware or if it's real. Is it a solution come June of next year, which is kind of the end deadline Cisco gave for the release of the solution? Is it a solution that I can compare to NXX, Open Contrail, or any other? I'm thinking another one that we don't talk a lot about is M2MI. Is this a solution that I can compare apples to apples with from a feature wise with those software first solutions? Or is this a solution that's similar to kind of a lot of other Cisco 1.0 solutions? If you think about Cisco's foray into security, before when they were just a Ethernet company, when they didn't, before they had a vision of the intelligent network, if you remember the intelligent network, is it more of an intelligent network? The intelligent network never really took off. We're not relying on the network, or we're not relying on Cisco's network for all of our security needs. We're not relying on the network to heal itself. If you remember a lot of the marketing terms that Cisco had when they introduced their intelligent network, a lot of those features never took off. Application developers would never say, yeah, I'm going to just rely on the network to do authentication and access control. It's been a combination of network security and application security. Applications don't look much different than they were before the intelligent network. So when it's released, 6 months from now, basically, is it going to be a solution that I can really build my private cloud on, or will it be a solution that I'm going to raise an eyebrow to and say, you know what, that I see the vision, and I'll wait for the 2.0 version of it. Is it a PIX or is it an ASA? If you've ever managed the Cisco PIX and you've managed a Cisco ASA, huge difference. I think that's a great example of a 1.0 solution. And the PIX was around for a long time, and it didn't, and it doesn't have quite the impact that a software-defined controller would have on your network. And that's kind of the other, the other shoe of this. Cisco is not a fail-fast company. We rely on Cisco to be stable and consistent. If you look at even their software releases for their code for their switches and routers, it goes by really slowly. The release cycle is not very quickly. There's a lot of experimental code that might fix or add features specifically, but that doesn't make it into the main code for months, sometimes years in a lot of cases. So Cisco is a very stable hardware company. So when you compare Cisco to kind of NXX, OpenFlow, Open Contrail, M2MI, software first solutions that can add features, resolve bugs, integrate with other solutions more quickly, so they're more iterative than Cisco's hardware-based solution is. The question is, when will Cisco really have a solution that can compete with the software first solutions that's on the market today? So they may release their controller on time in June, but does an on time release equal not vaporware? We can, in Cisco's case, if you think about it, we can have a solution that's released, but it's still vaporware. I mean, if we can't deploy it, or if it doesn't meet your needs, Cisco has effectively done what they want to do, which is delay you from going to a competitor's product and deploying their basically jumping ship from their platform. So NXX available, Open Contrail available. Are they what we need today in the enterprise? I don't know. VMware and Juniper and M2MI and OpenFlow folks still have to convince me of that. But I'm not convinced that Cisco's hardware first solution is the way to go. Cisco just doesn't have a great track record when it comes to going into new markets. And I think that's kind of the output that I've gotten from that blog post. And that has been involved. Look, if you read the initial post, that's not completely my thought. A lot of it has morphed based on the conversation after the fact, which is, I think, the true value of this blog post. If you take a look at the comment sections, there's a lot of great guys from the industry, some Cisco competitors, are in there, are in the discussion. Some former Cisco employees, some current Cisco employees, some employees that are, that work with software-defined networking, and some that don't. Really get into the conversation, and gave me a lot of food for thought. I really encourage you to take a look at the blog posts and the comment sessions. Well, that's it for this episode of Virtualized Geeks Tech Talk. We'll talk to you next episode. I think next episode we'll have a guest, Ken Yu. Talk to you guys in about a week. Thanks.